ayayere uyo uko kuno apo pano mamuona kere nai.
Right, 30 August 2021, and I'm joined by Mr. Tinashe Jonas. How are you, sir?
As usual, I'm excited to be on Zimbabwe Media because I get an opportunity to talk about pertinent issues concerning my country.
Yes, fantastic. And I'm very, very happy to have you here. I'm very delighted to have you every week on a Monday. And I respect everything that you say here. Some of the information that you give us is better than the most educated economists coming from our country. And today we've got a very interesting topic and a very important topic on the special drawing rights. Special drawing rights from the IMF. Did you see that announcement by the IMF?
Yeah, I saw it, and it's, to me, I think it's the most exciting news this year about our country, because our economy has been in the intensive care unit, and now it's recovering. So it was to me, it was a huge boost.
Yes, and Zimbabwe got one of the biggest amounts from the IMF special drawing rights. The IMF allocated 650 billion internationally to improve liquidity in the international economy. Why do you think the IMF has decided to give Zimbabwe money, and more money than most countries? For example, Botswana only got 180 million, whereas Zimbabwe got above almost $1 billion. Why do you think that is the case?
Okay, I think there are so many factors to consider. The first factor is that they were looking at the shareholding of each country to your shareholding to IMF, and secondly, this obviously they are looking at how a country's economy is affected by COVID-19. And we all know that Botswana has got a very low population and a very sound economy. Zimbabwe has got a very, affected economy, although it's very recovering. And IMF is very also pleased with our growth, our economic growth, that I think they estimated to be around 3.6, somewhere there. So they are also happy with our economical reforms that has enabled our economy to be performing very well, one of the best performing economy in Africa. So I think they are very happy with the way our economy is performing at the moment.
Okay, so let's go to the use of this money. What should be done with this money? What can be done with the money? What are the rules?
Yeah, I think because the money is almost, if I'm not mistaken, it's almost 961 million US dollar, which is close to $1 billion. The finance minister announced that almost 500 million of this money is going to be invested in terms of stabilizing our local currency, and the rest in social sectors like health, specifically COVID, to secure more vaccines, to also upgrade our hospitals, especially the referral hospitals, in terms of equipment, and to capacitate the hospitals in terms of handling COVID-19, and also they want to build, in terms of education, they want to build 12 new boarding schools, powered by solar power, in support to the national grid, and they want to support agriculture, especially the horticulture sector, because the horticulture, we know that is big business, a big exporting business that will also keep on fattening the foreign currency reserves of the country, and mining and manufacturing sectors which are the mainstay of the economy. Yeah, basically, and also they want to create a revolving fund, agriculture, and yeah, I think basically key sectors of the economy will be boosted by this money, so that our economy is left. Was our projected growth by the end of the year was 7.8. So with this billion windfall, I think we are going to achieve the target and probably exceed the target. And Zimbabweans must know that if we reach 7.8% growth, the projected one, or more, will qualify as the fastest growing economy in Africa.
Okay, I hope they give some of that money to the media industry.
I doubt. I doubt, because I will be honest with you, Mr. Gambakwe. If we look even the pictures, official photos of the president, they are not up to scratch. Even the videos of the president. I'm in the media sector, and sometimes you are trying to download the pictures of the president, the videos. The resolution is very, very poor. So I think our government is still lacking in terms of media. I think they see media as maybe as a hobby. And we look at even yeah, I think the media sector and the arts sector in general, the film industry, I think there's a separate. We should lobby, Mr. Gambakwe, me and you, we should lobby for the separation of the Minister of Sports and Culture, because the current Minister of Sports and Culture is a sports person, is a sports fanatic, who is biased towards sports. Honorable Kids Coventry, she's likely to be biased over sports on the sports side and not on the art side. The art side, the arts industry of Zimbabwe, to me, is very, very neglected. We don't even have venues to begin with. We just in Harare, just know Sheraton Hotel. I know Seven Arts Theatre. We don't have really venues for the arts sector, and we don't have a fund or studios funded by the state for struggling artists. Yeah, of which the arts industry is a billion earner in other countries like US, the Hollywood, in South Africa. I don't know why our government is they officially neglecting the arts industry.
Okay, let's now conclude with the response of all the stakeholders.
Yeah,
you saw the opposition parties; all of them jumped on this topic. The MDC Alliance, the MDCT, they all jumped. But did business respond to this allocation? Have you seen any business response?
Yeah, I saw the response of Bank ABC chairman. I forgot his name.
Okay, I think we've lost Mr. Jonas for a second. I think it's a network issue. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to take a little break and wait for him to come back with his network. Right, Mr. Jonas, I'm very sorry about that. You can continue where you left off. You were saying the Bank ABC CEO.
Yeah, Bank ABC
commented about it.
They were very optimistic about this fund, that it will help them and go a long way to help the struggling banking sector. Our banking sector, because they've got limited liquidity, they were skeptical in funding local businesses which are concentrating on domestic market, because they classify our domestic market as high risk, and the chances of their clients to abscond or to struggle in repayment are so high. They are concentrating on funding businesses that are exporting businesses. because they know that foreign markets are always, they are safe. But now the Reserve Bank, through this funding, they are assuring the local banking sector that there are going to be guarantees in terms if they give loans to companies that are concentrating on domestic markets.
Okay, Mr. Jonas, I just want us to bring this to an end. We've just passed over 10 minutes, and the Minister Mthuli is going to be presenting a webinar on the 2nd of September with the Zimbabwe Independent. I hope to attend that meeting, and I hope to probably bring this presentation by the Minister of Finance to our audience. However, before I give you a last chance to say what your last word, I want to look at most Zimbabweans, the way they think about money, and I want to take Kawe Moyo's comment. He's saying, what qualification does Jonas have to make him a financial analyst? And I think the answer I want to give Kawe is that most Zimbabweans don't understand money. You don't need education to make money. You need to think right. You need to have the right way of thinking, which is why most Zimbabweans don't make money. They think if you have a lot of books, if you know a lot of things in a book, you will make money. You make money, in my opinion, if you do something about what you know. If you know one thing and you do that one thing, you make a lot of money. You don't need all these qualifications. So that's why you see all the investors here in South Africa, the PhD class will be having 50% Zimbabweans. When they finish their degree, they never do anything with it. I don't know what you think, Mr. Jonas, before you conclude.
Yeah, no, the honest truth is that the Zimbabwean education and African education in general is useless. And it has proven year in, year out. Our graduates in Zimbabwe, they're useless. Someone has got pride that I graduated I got a master's in IT. But you can't even create a cell phone app. I mean, everyone is looking for a job. Zimbabweans are so proud to be slaves. We are supporting white supremacy. A Zimbabwean is so happy to work in London, to work in the US. We are slaves of white supremacy. We don't value our own. And Robert Mugabe was the most educated president in the world. And in Zimbabwe, he performed dismally. He's a total failure. When we define education as Zimbabweans, our definition is very limited. To me, what is education? Education is the assimilation, both the assimilation of knowledge and the utilization of it to better your own life or self-development and then your community or your country at large. Education must be the knowledge that is applied well for self-development and community at large. But when you go to university, you are studying someone else's ideas, which are codenamed modules. You are not allowed. There is no university in the world that teaches a person to be innovative, to be creative. You are taught certain information that you must then remember to pass an exam or assignment. People are studying IT. Where is IT beginning? It's beginning from a computer. The person who created the computer, was he starting from university? No. People are studying aviation at the higher, institutions. But aviation started the day someone created an aeroplane. All great inventions were done before universities. So our Zimbabweans, we are so useless because we don't know. We are left to think. We think that if you've got a PhD, Borodale, why is Borodale not built in the University of Zimbabwe complex? Because people who are rich, they don't belong to use it. In South Africa here, Sentin is not built in the complex of West University or University of Johannesburg. No, Sentin is way out of those complex university campuses, meaning rich people are not found in universities. So there is quite a disconnect between being a highly respected in academic and being a multi-billionaire. So Zimbabweans, we are poor in social intelligence. In life, you need social intelligence. You don't need a certificate for what? A certificate for what? A certificate doesn't help you to think.
I do agree. Mr. Jonasi, let us conclude here today. And I want to give you a chance. Is there anything else you want to say before we conclude today?
Yeah, no, I want to say now, if nation building, there's so much talk around town because there's a billion. Because there's money in the country. The first noise was about Zambia election results because there's media there. The opposition now is running back to Zimbabwe because there's a 1 billion. I think nation building requires us to believe in our own institutions, like the Ministry of Finance, the Reserve Bank, all the government institutions. We need to have faith in them. If someone in a certain governmental department is caught stealing money, it's a crime. And we should treat it as such, and the person who is caught must be treated as a criminal. We should not then say if someone is maybe stole money or 5 people, then the whole government is corrupt. Because no one can have the custody of 1 billion except the Minister of Finance. Even the President Mnangagwa does not have a mandate to keep that money. This money is under the Minister of Finance. So I want to urge Zimbabweans to, when we need to believe in our government, we need to believe in our institutions. Otherwise, we can't remove this government to utilize the 1 billion. You know, we can't. That's the only government which is in power. Rich countries, they've got a unit of purpose. They believe in their courts. They believe in everything. So it's only in Zimbabwe that the opposition thinks that everything is in Zimbabwe is corrupt, meaning that they are also corrupt. So we need to have a unit of purpose. We need to believe in our government, to have faith in government. Right now, the economy of Zimbabwe is performing very well, and it's projected by the end of the year to be around 7.8%. To make Zimbabwe the fastest growing economy in Africa. So why then would we think such a government would steal 1 billion when already before the money was allocated, our government is doing well in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of everything. To me, the government of ED is performing well, and everyone knows that I was the biggest critic of the ZANU-PF government. But I should not criticize for the sake of criticizing. If I want to be a president one day and the current president is doing well, why not shaking him hands and be excited? Because he's not developing his family, he's developing the whole country. So I think we don't have opposition. We have got opposition that is anti-Zimbabwe, that is anti-black. The opposition of, I mean, in particular, Nelson Chamisa. And I wonder why the government is not banning that stupid political party. And Mr. Gambagwe, as I am planning to go to Zimbabwe, I really want to have a word with the president.
Okay, I think the network did the job first. They stopped Mr. Jonase from talking about Chamisa. So good night, everybody. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. We'll be having another topic with Dr. Fedias Mteneri. And I really appreciate all of you who joined. Thank you very much and good night.
Kuno, abo,